It is another special episode here in the Buchnerverse. And I was just reminded that it's not necessarily when worlds collide, it is different things happening in the Buchnerverse. Think of it as when the Avengers got together. Huh?
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 That's my secret. I'm always cheesy.
That's true.
I'm already off the rail here, and I haven't even said I'm here in Mount Manitoba. This took no time at all. But I'm Kirk Buchner. I run NotInHallOfFame.com, and of course the sister sites, the Fictitious Athlete Hall of Fame, the Fictitious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the United States Athletic Hall of Fame. Vote for that now, www.NotInHallOfFame.com/USA. With me, as always, is Andrea Tessmann.
Hello.
Brad Nelson.
Hi.
And for the second time today, I have welcomed, because he guested on another show earlier, we'll plug that at the end. This is the Intercontinental Champion of Triathletes. He was the best triathlete in all of Western New York. Buffalo is now Western New York, right? So I've expanded that. Successfully defended that title against all skullcomers in Antarctica, making him an Intercontinental Champion.
Oh.
There you go.
And it's
There you go.
Paslawski. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing today?
No, neither of us changed our T-shirts. So I guess
I thought about it, but I'm just going to keep it real. Yeah, this is going into the second show today. I don't know. Is there a third show I got to show up for later tonight?
There's not.
Thank God.
That's the after hours
You
party.
can only spend so much time in a day with Kirk.
Shirts are prohibited at that party, by the way.
It might be. Yeah. Don't get him started. He'll actually take off his shirt.
Ooh,
Which
are we
one
doing
of you?
that?
Brad,
No.
keep your shirt on.
Oh. You like swiper. Streaker, no streaking.
And see,
Oh, man.
may I tell you something that really has upset me in recent days?
Absolutely.
All right.
You saw
Well,
me with my shirt off?
that wasn't in recent days. No. It's the fact that my fatherland, the Germans, could create something so bad, and Brad actually liked it because I was trying to penalize him for this. This is a show called How the Hell Did This Become a Hit? And I've got somebody who actually loves this song. He was thrilled when I suggested we are going to go with Trio and Da Da Da. A hit in 1982 that was resurrected in the late 90s by, of course, the Germans again with Volkswagen. Because, and the thing is, too, I was actually doing some more research. Germany did some really awful shit. I had no idea.
Really?
They have a bit of a sketchy past. Yeah. From what I understand, there were a few issues with one of their leaders, but everything seems to be okay now.
Man, I mean, my dad never lied to me. Would explain why he never let me watch Hogan's Heroes.
It's because he knew nothing?
No, because he said no Germans were this stupid.
Well,
and we're going to sort of I guess we found three who really are. I've looked at some of the comments that some people have done on the, not the official YouTube, but when people upload this. Apparently a lot of people love the song. I do not. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I hated it when I was 10. I hate it now that I'm 50.
Now I know why you dragged me into this. You
Why?
want more of your company.
well, here I was hoping that Glenn loved it as much as I do, because Andrea, you're like wishy-washy on it. I'm like full on in love with it. And Glenn, where are you sitting?
I remember when it first came out, I was a wee child, and my dad loved the song. And the only lyrics he would sing was da 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 and and he would just sing it in a creepy way where it would be just please stop.
As opposed to how these people sing it?
It doesn't get much creepier than that video with him just being like,
Wait, which video? The video where they're all in the room and he pulls out the little handheld piano and starts or the English version where the guy's jumping into a bowl of what appears to be SpaghettiOs.
Well,
I didn't see the English version.
There's another version where he's is that the same version where they're in a bar?
No, that's probably a different version.
Okay.
And I just stumbled across the original where they're in the room playing the piano, or he pulls out his hand piano, And then yeah, the diving
Which
into
is not a
spaghetti.
euphemism, folks.
No, it's not.
It's a little mini Casio. So who are these guys? Andrea, you're always the queen of the research. Introduce us to Trio.
Oh, I can't remember their names now because I could barely pronounce them.
Like German,
Three
you are
German
with
dudes.
Tessmann.
This is the only international pop song they had. Had some minor success in Germany. I don't have a lot to say about them because they were they didn't really do anything.
They came out of nowhere, went back into nowhere.
They all tried solo careers after they broke up. Only one of them had moderate success.
That's
You're using it loosely.
In my notes, we have, hang on here. Klaus, somebody or other, produced them, and he also did something else.
also their bass player on occasion when it
when they
required.
very rarely had a bass player.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like with German electronica, I mean, Kraftwerk, I wouldn't say they're my idols, but they're in my, I think they're one of the most important bands of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I would dare say that they're in the top four. I truly believe that.
Talking about top German bands or top bands in general?
Top bands in general. Top most
Okay,
important. Actually, not the most important.
I would maybe slot them into the top 10, but I mean, you gotta look at things like the Stones, Beatles, even well, I guess you could say, you know, like the Traveling Wilburys and stuff like that as being far more important.
Wilburys.
It was a power band, dude. The Traveling Wilburys.
They should have been shot just for Wilbury Twist. What the hell was that?
Oh, okay, maybe for that one there, but I mean, come on, like the hits that they did have, kind of fantastic.
Andrea, you have one job. Andrea brings us back whenever we go on tangents.
Oh no,
except I apparently suck at that job.
Yeah.
No, Brad, the Traveling Wilburys are not one of the most important bands. I'm with Kirk on this one. Individually, a lot of those artists are some of the most important artists, but that band itself had a couple of jams and bunch of crap.
Mm-hmm. And we can't.
Plus, I hate Roy Orbison, so
you can't deny that Rush belongs in there, though.
Anyways, let's get back to Trio, which is definitely not one of the most important bands. And let's talk about this genre of German electronic. I don't know if
this calls this New German Happiness. This is weird subgenre. How is this happy?
Well, the idea was that they were going to take music, boil it down to its absolute essentials, and because it was somewhat absurd, the da 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 means there in German, but also references Dadaism. In the fact that it was obscure, it wasn't art like you're used to art. This wasn't music like you're used to music. There was a bit of Dada in this song.
Giving them way too much credit.
I don't know that I am. I really don't know that I am because they got a little ridiculous. They
like, got a little ridiculous.
Yeah, well, this is like
I listened to their whole catalog today.
Yeah. It's all ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did. Okay. I found the one album I could find. And one album I could find. I listened to it. This isn't even the worst song they've done.
Devo also hit Dadaism.
Well, Devo.
The B-side is some song called Sabine, Sabine, Sabine. And that's all the song is. Sabine, Sabine, Sabine. And he's talking on the phone to, I'm assuming, Sabine, Sabine, Sabine.
Right. Doesn't even have a good voice. So also too, if these guys are so happy versus singing about a breakup, and you were right to
I don't love you, you don't love me.
And these three look like three meth heads.
And the video, I mean, the drummer at one point just stops playing and sits on the guitar player's lap for a minute. The guitar player's wearing a bucket on his head.
That's one version of it. The other version of the video where they're at a bar, he's just like staring at a drink the whole time.
Which makes sense for a breakup song.
Who hasn't been there?
Yeah, but he's not the one. He's not the narrator.
Uh-huh.
The lead singer actually slaps the ass of somebody. Apparently, there's a version where the waitress gets a knife in the back. What is this?
So
New wave happiness? This is how
my
Germans are happy? I'd rather watch a bunch of shit videos from that country than this.
It's got to be the German version of happiness.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Well, now that I think about it, who is the best German comedian?
David Hasselhoff.
Explain it to me.
Best German comedian, best German musician, best German actor. He's got all the bases covered.
Have you seen his get in my car, jump in my car video?
Oh God, that was a while back. It was terrible.
I think I want to.
No,
It's
you
great.
don't want to. You can't.
He's just trying to convince some chick to get in his car so he can drive her home, and then he's like, at the end of it, he's like, "Get out of my car!" and he just kicks her out. It's pretty funny.
Get out into my car.
So, full disclosure, you guys were talking about hating this song in the 80s.
Mhm.
I never heard this song in the 80s.
Volkswagen?
It was the Volkswagen commercial that got me in the 90s, and I'm like, oh, I need to know everything about this. And you're right, the rest of the album sucked. I did, however, have this earworm on a mixtape for a long time.
You know, I appreciate minimalism, but this is just one stretch too far here.
Like I said, I think they were getting into the band itself, Trio, I think was getting into, like I say, the absurdity of Dadaism, because I have to go back to it because you guys refuted my claim, and I'm going to explain why. I had mentioned that because Dada is absurdist. Dada is a rebellion against the current status quo, and trying to open people up to the idea that anything can be art. And I think that's kind of what they did in this one.
Well, I guess anything can be art, I suppose.
Yeah, if it makes you feel anything. If you look at it and it's like looking at a gray wall and you feel nothing, it's not really art, I don't think, at least not for you. But art has to evoke an emotion, I believe, whether it's positive or negative or whatever it is. It makes you happy, it makes you sad, it makes you angry, it makes you rail against it, as is the case with this song. But I think it's still art.
I suppose.
I have to agree with Brad on this one.
Oh, that's gotta kill you.
But it does. It hurts. Hurts real bad. Though I think, I don't know that tying the name to a cultural movement is, I don't know that it's that deep, but anything is art. This is certainly art. 4 minutes and 55 seconds, 55 seconds is art, even though he just sits at the piano and doesn't play a note. So, yeah, I guess it is art. It's also
proof that 3 untalented people can get together and actually sell something. It gives hope for everybody.
Well, and the drummer had as much, if not slightly more talent than Meg White.
Apparently, during a lot of performances, they played a pre-recorded loop, and he just sat there like playing with one hand and eating an apple, or just completely disassociated, disconnected from everything going on, just sitting there.
That was also his shtick, that outfit. He always would wear the same bit. The same thing with the red suspenders. Right, Winnie? Yes, Winnie's here.
Hello, Winnie.
Winnie was a prop in the earlier show. She helped with the touchdowns. Touchdown!
Ooh.
Long day for Winnie.
Hello, Winnie, my old friend.
She looks pretty stunned.
Mm-hmm. No, see, that's her usual look. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing up here, but here I am.
Yes.
Like a fence turtle.
Post turtle.
Post turtle.
Like a turtle.
No, a post turtle.
Oh, a post turtle, like a fence post turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just actually learned that expression not that long ago.
Uh-huh.
Listening to some of the other things, I actually have a song, Heart is Trump. I wonder why Mr. Donald didn't use that one. I don't quite know where he would have gone with that. Glenn, you're the resident American here.
Sure.
Well, out of the three of us, dude, you're the only one.
What do you want to ask?
Oh, would that have made a good song for your ex-president?
I'd have to dive into what the lyrics mean because Donald researches his plans, his campaigns, and whether or not it would fit with his ideological pathways to a second term. I don't know.
Oh, you said all that with a straight face. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I try not to think about the Donald.
It's actually
I don't blame you.
It's actually made my life a lot calmer now that I'm not invested in politics. I pay attention, but I'm not invested in it, if that makes any sense.
Well, you have the benefit of not having to be that closely invested in American politics.
It's true.
But obviously, me being here, I kind of got to pay a little of attention so I know what's going on.
Or go back to Antarctica.
Which will happen in September, and it's a nice, quaint escape to get away from all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Robin Williams said it best when he said that Canada is like a nice apartment above a meth lab.
It's not far off.
Yeah.
Da.
No, there are some great things coming out of the U.S. and there are some questionable things like Florida and Texas.
Yeah, global warming, like engulfing Florida, would be a good thing. Just the water seeping up and devouring it all. That would be great.
All right, send your letters to Glenn at glenndoesn'tgiveashit.com.
That's you're purposely trying to get me to go down this road. Our resident American, would you like to comment on Trump?
No, just if Trump could have used the song, and you could have just said no, and then I would have moved on.
I just like the way that Kirk tried to throw you under the bus, and you took that mechanics creeper and scooted out clean on the other side.
I do my best.
Well,
he's more than a song.
It's not like Glenn hasn't sort of like let me mispronounce names throughout an entire episode of a show.
Really?
Never corrected me.
You're from Canada. I thought Corso. I just thought that was your accent.
Do we examine the lyrics of this song?
Yes, I ran it through a translator.
There's lots of translators.
Well, granted, this was done in apparently several languages, but let's where do we have this here? I had it up and now I lost it.
What's the matter with you, my darling? Is it always downhill?
Yeah, but they had the English version, right?
Yeah, I didn't bother with the English version. I went straight from the German, so we didn't miss any.
Okay, so let's do the first part because then we could see how it translates.
Is it only what you understand? And then it goes to English. Is this what you got to know? Loved you though it didn't show.
Okay, so the first three lines in English: what you do and what you don't. What you will and what you won't. What you can and what you can't.
Boy, it's deep.
Yeah. And then when I was a kid, I literally thought that he was saying after this part.
Well, it's German, so yes.
Yeah.
But it's also muffled.
It really is, but it's very difficult to say. It's a German tongue twister. Ich liebst du nicht, du liebst mich nicht. Ich liebst du nicht, ich liebst du nicht, du liebst mich nicht.
Rubber baby buggy bumpers. Yeah. And the fact, I don't know if they looped that or if they got it tight on every single take for that line. But
he's just mumbling it though. It's not tight in any one of them. Kirk was very close with his original.
But it's German. How can you tell if it's being mumbled?
That's why I can't watch German porn. The horrible accents.
When you find the English video and with the English version, you even have to pay attention to what he's saying. and I did find the lyrics and watched the video and listened to the song. Like, okay, I can kind of hear that, but if I wasn't reading the lyrics, again, it's got a catchy beat with a couple lyrics that make you go, okay, I can do something with this.
Volkswagen could sell cars. They saw an uptick in car sales after this.
A bunch of
I don't
other
know.
commercials used it too.
Yep.
TV shows
Pepsi,
used it.
yeah.
And it was in, let me see here, Private School, Biodome, and Thick as Thieves.
So
Private
someone made
School,
some
I
good
think-
royalties off of it.
I think that's another movie where Phoebe Cates is topless. Not that I would. She was.
Then another podcast we're gonna do.
Well, I tried to sell Brad on the podcast of the idea of women we used to beat off to when we were teenagers.
I was on board. We never went any further with it.
Glenn, what were you saying there?
I think I remember you bringing that podcast show up to me and just me laughing hysterically and thinking, yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah,
Right?
because Samantha Fox may or may not have had a lot of my babies.
Ah,
Is this where Andrew's supposed to
Yeah.
bring?
It is. I just
I just want to
No,
counter
I've
with
given
one word though with this. One word. Tootie. Kim
Tootie.
Fields.
Judy?
Tootie. I mean, it was always the big debate. Okay, are you team Joe or team Blair? No, it was Tootie all the way.
Real? Oh, from Facts of Life?
Yeah, what'd you
Yes.
think I meant?
Oh,
where
I
else is there a
think
Tootie?
I'm gonna have to remember it now. I have to go and look at the old shots because I don't remember it. Because I was always a Mary Ann guy.
You know who nobody ever picked? Natalie.
Gee, I wonder why.
I don't know. I would have rather been Mrs. Garrett than Natalie.
See here.
Oh yeah, I'm the only one who thinks this.
Oh yeah, Blair.
She still pretty much looks the same. Which is crazy.
Yeah, not doing so bad.
Yeah.
Lisa
right.
Wetchell?
Let's-
Welchel.
We have gone into
Let's-
the new podcast.
Yeah,
How
well,
about let's get back to trio because next you guys are going to be mixing the German and then whacking off, and it's going to get into Scheisen porn and
what is with them and shit porn? I don't get it.
I don't know why German shit porn is a thing,
Oh,
but it's a thing.
damn
All
it,
right.
that's my own fault.
Chorus. Da da da. I don't love you. You don't love me. Repeated 4 times. That's in the German version too, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. What's next here?
In the German version, translated to English, it would be you think it's too late, and you think that nothing works anymore.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Very well done. And the sun moves fast
Uh-huh.
after all is said and done. It was right for you to run.
Okay.
And that's in the German part too.
Yes.
So the first 3 lines in English, I know why you ran away. Understand you couldn't stay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Wonder where you are today. And then the same thing. And that's pretty much it. Then it just repeats in that, and except for that little part where he breaks out his little mini Casio.
Mhm.
I did
So
find
there's no depth to this song. There's zero to it. It is flat 7-Up at best with no sugar.
that's
It's
7-Up is sweet.
It was quirky enough to be a hit, a #1 hit in 4 countries.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
So it didn't chart in the US, it did chart in Canada.
well, it did chart in the US in the dance charts.
Mm.
So I honestly don't know how you dance to this. I mean, I don't know, like that.
Just a
Yeah, I don't know what else you'd do. So do you guys remember the VW commercial?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so 2 guys driving along in a VW Golf.
Regular videos.
Yeah, and they find an old chair.
Stinky
And
chair.
then it stinks. So they leave the chair.
They beat the chair? I don't remember that.
No, they leave the chair because it stinks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they pick it up and drive around for a little while. They both sniff in the car and then they get rid of the chair.
How did this sell Volkswagens?
No idea. I think it was maybe on the size that you could transport a chair.
It says it has room for all the important things in life and some of the unimportant ones too, or something like that. But they say that it was marketed for one of the first commercials to market towards gay people.
I read that too, but I don't see how.
It could
Subaru marketed cars towards lesbians long before this.
It's true.
Wait, okay. How does this market, like, maybe I gotta look at that commercial again.
Well, it was two men riding together who might be gay. And I never got that vibe when I saw
a man and a white man in the same car.
Mhm.
Driving around. It never dawned on me that they were gay, but yeah. And maybe they were looking for they found the chair that they were going to put in their apartment. Big score. And then a mile later, they decided that this aroma is not conducive to the homosexual lifestyle that we want to portray in our apartment.
Might have smelled like German Scheiße porn. A little full circle.
Oh, this is yes. I think I smell another podcast.
How did this shit become a commercial?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I stepped right into that one.
The podcast is called Why Is Shit a Thing?
I did not know you did a Jerry. That's awesome.
Very poor Jerry.
Well, I mean, they all can't be your Gilbert Gottfried.
Well, no, I love the Gilbert. Rest in peace.
I did see though that they did a cover of Tutti Frutti in 1985, and it's as bad as you think. I can't even describe it. It's impossible to describe.
With their minimalist style, how could you do Tutti Frutti? Like that's just
they did it just
Tutti
the way
Frutti?
they did. It's
that's what I'm thinking.
Not far off.
Tutti Frutti.
Oh, Rudy.
Oh, Rudy.
And Daisy, you almost drive me crazy.
Yeah, I guess David Hasselhoff still wins for best German musician.
You know, I talked to the guy who
going with Nina.
Nina's awesome.
It's supposed to be Tutti Frutti, good booty.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a homosexual anthem, but
well, not necessarily.
Yes, it was. Little Richard was not a straight man.
Well, it depends on what year you asked him. I told you I interviewed his ex-drummer, right?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's the first interview I ever got for the show. A guy named Charles Connor. He's since passed away. And I wish I had that recorded. That was the days before I knew I could podcast. I think that was the days before that was even really much of a thing. So he told me that he loved being Little Richard's drummer because Little Richard didn't really like the women, but I love them all. I mean, it's much more for me.
So he was the backstop.
Yeah. So he said because he was telling me the real thing about it. He says like the whole thing is just about anal sex, which I mean, I suppose it doesn't have to be a gay thing. I suppose I don't know. I mean,
it doesn't have to be, but I think it's more prevalent.
Winnie would agree. If you hear that in the background.
100%.
That's why I usually carry Winnie up here because of things like that. Keep talking amongst yourselves while I go wrangle a puppy.
Okay. So going back to Trio, there's nothing else to say. Because they were a flash in the pan. They mostly sucked after they flashed in said pan. And now here we are talking about them.
There's no hope for a reunion because only one member is still alive. So if you're hoping for the reunion tour, that's not going to happen.
Feel bad that they're dead. Feel good that they won't be creating any more quote unquote music.
Oh, come on. They could rock the casino circuit.
Yeah, but they'd have to perform as Uno.
Oh,
yes. There you go.
Did you just come up with that, or was that in your holster?
I just came up with that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Well played, sir. Well played.
With that, final parting shots on Trio.
Uh-huh.
No. Great. That's it. Well, kudos for them for actually being able to do that. We guess have different opinions on it. Does it harken, I think, a lot of people back to a more simpler time? Was it something that was worthwhile talking about?
Well, I mean, how the hell did this chart? It shouldn't have. It came out of Germany. It made it over here. It did okay.
I mean, it's almost like this was like, what did the Fox say version of 1982? There's no real reason for this.
Do not disparage Ylvis.
Are you serious?
That was so beautifully cheesy. I loved it.
No, I will not agree with you on that one. That might have been the worst thing to happen to my ears in like a decade.
Well, moving away from anal sex, now let's plug.
Do we want to talk about what we're doing next week?
Oh, that's right. Yes. Andrea, you pick next week.
Oh, Kirk, you killed Glenn. This is why you don't get any podcast hosts returning, because you kill them. You destroyed him.
Killed any
Look at his face.
Oh,
He's never going to be the same.
the plug. I'm
Speaking
sorry.
of plugs, though, I will say this. I learned that you're not supposed to take out anal beads like you're starting a lawnmower. It makes that noise, though.
Not where I thought this would go. I see
No,
two of you, but
next week.
next week, what do we got? We
Next
rotate
week
the
we
picks.
are
Yeah.
Going back a little bit to 1974 to the number 9 hit.
Ooh,
It's number 9
number
by
9.
the legends Cheech and Chong.
Oh,
Earache My Eye.
Okay.
did that chart that high?
It did,
Oh, shit.
from the wedding album.
Okay.
Well, this is all right. I'll enjoy this research.
You gonna light up a spliff
No,
while you're doing it?
No, I don't do that. But I get to do this to Winnie all the time. Hey, Dave's not here, man.
Dave's not here, man.
Not here, man. Winnie, come on, that's really good. Winnie, Dave's not here, man.
She's not interested. She doesn't care about the Dave.
Kirk?
Yeah.
Speaking of anal beads, did you write a book?
Yeah, I don't think there's sex in there, but
Oh, sorry. Plugs, my mistake.
I did write a book. Yeah, so it's Chavo Guerrero Instant Classic. You can buy that now on Amazon. It makes a great whatever gift.
Hey,
Father's Day is coming up.
Yeah,
real soon.
okay. So that's something that you can pick up now. Also, and while you're at it, pick up my buddy Chris Bourdais on Amazon, Lady Wrestler. Because so he did a documentary on the first African American women in pro wrestling in the 50s, and that's available also on Amazon. It's a great 2-for-1 deal. Actually, there's not a 2-for-1 thing. We didn't really think of that far ahead.
But you can buy that book, read it, and watch Glow.
You could watch Glow. Actually, Chavo's son worked on Glow.
I liked that series. It was good.
Yeah, too bad it ended so abruptly, but oh well. Such is life. Such is life. So there's that. There's the show that Glenn and I do. Glenn, we'd invite them on, but they would be completely worthless because they know nothing about sports.
I do so. I've been doing some research.
Yeah, would it
Hey,
be?
I picked both the winner and the opposing team.
That's true. You
Of
did.
that.
That is
show you
true
were talking
because I
about.
plugged what we were going to do, which we
Mhm.
recorded today. It was Super Bowl 6, but that's a different show. But Glenn and I, we do the classic sports review. Coming up soon will be the World Hockey Association's final game, and we've decided we're going to look at roller games next
They
week.
could come on that show. That would be that's an all people welcome show. I mean, you don't have to specifically be an athlete or
That's
into
true.
sports to look at
That's
the roller derby.
I do like
I
watching
watched
women
roller
beat each other up.
Okay, so you guys want in on that?
Nope.
No.
I could see it, depending on what it is.
All right. Well, so we might have Andrea there. We haven't set a date yet. We still have to watch it, but it's the pilot for a show called Roller Games that lasted only 13 episodes.
I think all 13 episodes are on YouTube.
They
Now,
are.
if we were talking about Rollerball, the movie,
I'd rather watch Hot Dog, the movie.
in the future, there is no war, there is no famine, there is only
James Conn.
Rollerball.
Well, could you mix the movies and call it Roller Dog?
There we go. There's the roller dog.
When he's in.
Yeah, she would be good, like Hot Dog, the movie. Like,
She's a wiener dog.
Put her between your buns. Let's see what she looks like.
yeah, but that's why I had to get her fixed so I could protect her from all other wieners.
Dum-dum-dum.
Isn't that funny, Winnie? Yeah, she thinks so.
Yes, she does.
There's
She has
also
quite a sense of humor.
yes, absolutely. Well, Glenn and I also recorded the retro football show. We looked at Super Bowl VI, and Andrea is not lying when she actually picked the two teams. She actually picked the winner and loser, which is amazing considering I think she's only ever heard of two football teams.
I've heard of more than that.
Name another one other than the Dolphins and
Patriots,
where are they from?
New York somewhere.
It was the Dallas Cowboys, right?
Yes, it was the Cowboys.
It was the Dolphins
Oh,
and the
okay.
Cowboys.
Yes.
There's the BC Lions. I've heard of them.
You didn't specify NFL.
I did
They
not-
they play the sport that's like rugby except for pansies, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. And it's not called handball. It's called football because you use your foot like twice in the whole game, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Exactly.
So then that makes sense.
I've got no defense on the name of that sport. It's befuddled me forever.
It should just be called rugby for pansies.
So my answer has always been, whenever somebody asks me that, why is it called football? Why is a hamburger called a hamburger when there's no ham in it?
Because the dude from Hamburg invented it.
Yeah, but most people don't know that.
Hi, useless trivia. If it will make me money, I don't know it.
All right. Speaking of actual trivia, former third place finisher on Jeopardy, Evan Nolan and I, we host a show called the Hall of Fame Show where we look at Hall of Fame related news. Glenn guest starred a couple times.
Evan.
Yes. And amazingly, he came back. So I'm very happy about that.
I come back with a paycheck.
Well, there you go.
He actually doubled our salary last month.
I did.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's
Yep.
a generous man.
You know, technically, you could say I tripled it.
Let's not get crazy.
We're working on it. We're working on it. Vinny Lospinus also joins me for a show that we call Vinny Makes the Hall of Fame Case for. That's also a lot of fun. And Chris Bourdain and I do a show called How This Crap Was on National Television. The next episode up will be where we look at Hit Me Baby One More Time, the UK version. And with that, wherever you are, wherever you may be, the Buchnerverse bids you adieu.
Good night, guys.